Good afternoon, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to Mirror Lake Beach Resort. As you see, we had a storm go through here last night, and you can actually see why this is called Mirror Lake if you look in the reflection of the mountains in the water over here. But today we're going to fly the X250 5.8 Gigahertz FPV quadcopter. Now the X250 from XK is another version of the XK X250. It actually is the XK X250 with the addition of a 5.8 gigahertz FPV pod. Now this 5.8 gigahertz FPV pod is the same system more or less that started off on the V686G, which is a relatively pretty good system. I believe it gets ranges out to close to 150 meters FPV range. It includes also an FPV receiver system. As you see here, the receiver comes with an on-off switch, a charging port, and one frequency. I forgot what that frequency is that this transmitter and receives on. I will include it down in the video description below. But again, it's a 5.8 gigahertz system. And the advantage of 5.8 gigahertz over a Wi-Fi system is Wi-Fi interferes with the quadcopter's controller and greatly reduces range of both the quadcopter and also the FPV signal. If you can go with a 5.8 gigahertz FPV system, you'll get much greater range on both FPV and the quadcopter's control. And that's what we're going to do here today. I'm showing you again the X250 again is unchanged. It's advertised with, I believe, altitude hold. There's a airplane way off in the distance. I can hear it, but I'm not seeing it. But it includes altitude hold. It's advertised with altitude hold, but it does not have it, unfortunately. I've demonstrated that in previous flights of the X250. It also has, I believe, a one-key landing, or if it would fall out of range of the quadcopter, it's supposed to do a gentle landing. The X250 does not do that either. Those two things are, I believe they wanted to incorporate that on the X250, but they never got around to doing it. Now the controller, though, is advertised, I believe, with 150 meters range, 200 meters range, which is pretty good if it actually achieves that. We'll find out here today. But the buttons on the controller, this left button here controls one key return with a quick press and headless mode if you hold it down for 2 seconds. The right button with a quick press turns on photos, and if you hold it down for 2 seconds, it takes a video. The throttle stick, if you push into it, changes from beginner to intermediate rate, and I believe it also has an expert rate. And the right stick, the pitch roll stick, if you press into it one time, it'll give you a flip, and if you hold it down for 2 seconds, it will give you a, will turn off the lights on the quadcopter. So, other than that, it has trim buttons for both throttle and also yaw, and trim buttons for pitch, and trim buttons for roll. And other than that, let's go for a flight of the XK X250 FPV system here at Mirror Lake. I'm going to try to avoid going too much over the water because I don't feel like going in there, but we'll fly around the edge of the water and fly around the edge of this local lake here. So I hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, the quadcopter is plugged in, turning on the transmitter, binding it. We have bind, turning on the video, holding the button down for the video. Turning on the FPV receiver, looking in the FPV receiver screen, and I'm tilting my head up this way, so. And I am flying full FPV, folks. I'm trying to fly full FPV. The sun out here today is making it somewhat difficult. Trying to come down a little bit. There's the lake, folks. One to intermediate. Go into visual here for a second, folks. I'm trying to find the, oh yeah, the rates is this button. Let's see if that helps. Now, I want to see something here, folks. Does this rate button actually change the rates of the quadcopter? Yeah, it gives it a little more pitch. Going back to FPV again. There we are, coming overhead. Going this way toward the hills, turning, coming back toward us again. A little drop out there. Drop out of signal. Drop out of signal. Now okay, folks, I had to land there for a second. That's my bearing. Let's see if we're still recording. Let's go back up again. Now, FPV, if you don't have altitude hold, can be a little bit tricky. As you see here. Coming back at us. Turning. Going back out again. Trying to maintain altitude. And controlling a quadcopter at the same time is difficult. And this is a good trainer for such purposes. You know, if you go straight to a racer quadcopter, say, and try to do this with a racer, spend a lot of money on a racer, you are going to have difficulty. Where the heck are we? China. There we are. I had to go to visual for a second there. See? That's why it's also good not to use goggles, so you can transition back and forth between visual flying and FPV flying, like I'm doing right now. Okay, going back up the gully here. I'm going to use that water there as a reference to bring myself back to me. Just follow back this water. We're over here somewhere, aren't we? Is it coming back on? It is? Okay, I'm not seeing us. Coming down in. And that's why it's also good to have a visual observer with you. Is it coming toward us? It's not? How about now? See? I don't see us though. It's coming toward us? That's not coming toward us. It's coming toward left, turn left, turn left, turn left. It's moving to the left, so turning left should be coming toward us now. That's why it's also good to know orientation techniques. Not flying by visual cues alone to bring it back to you. We were at a good 150 meters there, folks. So, well, this flies a good long time though with the FPV. Let's go up this gully again and then turn around. Yeah, I know, I'm turning back. I think I see us this time. I see us coming back to us, and we're probably getting low in power here because I'm putting throttle up, increasing throttle. I'm going to turn off the video camera here shortly because the power is... Hello there! And that's it. Hold on, let me turn off the camera before we stop. So I make sure I got my video signal. Still recording. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're good to stop. And I will take the hat back. Thanks, hon. So, that was an FPV flight with the X250. It is a good FPV trainer. I kind of like it. The reason being, it does not have altitude hold, and if you wanted to get into serious FPV flying, this is a good one to practice with. Hope you enjoyed this flight. It's Quadcopter 101, signing out.